But here, the moment everybody's been waiting for here, I think we should do it, man.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Ready? All right,
Let's settle in here, though, because this is 7 picks here. And I think that we should kind of, obviously, you've written down some stuff for who you want and some tidbits, I'm sure, with it.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should try to dive into a little bit of why we think that that's the right move. I'm going to say that my Bears mock was constructed knowing that next year's draft class is probably loaded with defensive ends. So that's I was looking at next year's potentially to come out. I know there's a couple kids out of Clemson that are going to probably leave. I looked at the projections, and a lot of the players that are projected to go in the first round are going to end up being defensive ends. So I'm getting even ahead on here for the next year. So go ahead.
All right, this is who I would like to see with the first round, 8th pick. Chicago Bears, I have selecting Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame.
And I wouldn't hate it.
I think that if you invested in Mitch Trubisky, we moved up from Mitch Trubisky. We need to protect Mitch Trubisky, and I think this kid is athletic enough. I think he is strong enough to play that guard position, especially losing Josh Sitton was not easy for the Chicago Bears, but bringing in this youth movement into our line, maybe give it a little bit of a jolt in the arm there.
Well, they did that too. They got rid of Sitton on their own,
right?
On their own merits,
right?
So, like I said, and Nelson has worked with at Notre Dame. He's worked with
Harry Hedstein,
Harry Hedstein,
or something, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, but he worked with
him. But yeah, like I said, and we've talked about this in the past. Mitch Trubisky is like buying a car right now. You surround him with all the bells and whistles, so if something bad goes wrong, you got people to lay back on. I wouldn't hate the pick. I wouldn't.
Not the impact player I know a lot of people were looking for. I'm just trying to, when you get a lineman that is highly touted, highly athletic like this kid, and you just invested all this into a quarterback, I think that's just that's the safe pick in me, but it's also not just a safe pick because I do think he could be an impact player. He could, he could be a Kyle Long on that line.
And there's a lot of talk that maybe the Colts are going to take him because they've traded down.
I did see
to
that.
The 6th spot.
I did see that.
And their line has been terrible.
But this was just my Bears first round mock draft.
Right.
I didn't jump on other teams.
No, yeah. Well, absolutely. But if he's there, that's your guy.
I still do think he's there.
Okay. So my round 1.
Round 1, pick 8. What you got, Juice?
I got Tremaine Edmonds out of Virginia Tech.
Gotcha. DT linebacker?
I think he's
19 years old.
He's a beast.
He's
an elusive ball attacker. Can move sideline to sideline. Dangerous looking defense with Floyd and Edmonds running around making plays. That's my opinion.
And having Danny Trevathan and Kwiatkowski in the middle.
I know he's young, but the Bears are young, so he's gonna
always
good
have
to
find a young
learn.
Kid to grow.
Right, and he's a freak athletically, and if he ends up being what we think he can be, there's potential he's better than Chubb. I know he's not better than Chubb right now, but if he turns into what he's supposed to be, he's going to get more pressure, I think. And he is a beast, and he's awesome. He is awesome in coverage. So I likes to play downhill. He's going to blow up plays in the backfield. I think that I could see it. I put down players I also like, which was Nelson was one of them. And I also put down the corner from Iowa, Jackson, but that's only if they trade down. I think that if they want to stockpile picks and get Jackson around the 15th to 20th, that would be my pick if they do that. But at 8, I decided that, like we said earlier on, I want my defense to move up that extra step from the top 10 into the top 5. I think Edmonds is a guy who could grow into that. And with 2 guys on the outside like that, and then, if you want to even throw them on the inside, with Floyd and with Edmonds underneath there, I think that they could really make some noise defensively, really blow up some stuff, and obviously make some mismatches for offenses. And that's the game now. The more guys you can have getting pressure on the quarterback and the less you got to worry about when it comes to your linebackers and coverage, the better. And he's gotten comparisons of Brian Urlacher. And I think that if he can drop back into coverage and be just an impact guy, I think that the Bears could get a steal at 8 if he's there. Now, I've seen the Colts looking at him too. The Colts and the Bears, their draft seem to be very kind of linked.
I've seen a lot of that.
It doesn't surprise me if they would to take a guy that the Bears are really looking at, and the Bears would settle with the guy that the Colts don't pick. But like I said, I Edmonds I like, Nelson I like, Jackson if they trade back down. So that was my round one, and I know that we're probably going to get some people who say, "Oh, he's 19 years old. He needs to learn how to use his instincts, and he needs to probably play as physical as he can because he played physical in college, but he's got to stay that physical." I just like his skill set when it comes to athleticism. He could play the coverage game. He's going to run around sideline to sideline and make plays for me, and that's tough to find in these days.
I agree with you. High impact is something cool that I dig.
Yeah. So round two.
Round two, pick 39. I am taking Lorenzo Carter from Georgia.
Okay.
And the reason I'm taking Lorenzo Carter from Georgia is he's an end. He's an edge.
Okay.
He's a solid mover, brings strength and speed. He could be used on the line with his hand down, on the line with his hand up, and even off the ball. That is crazy for a lineman.
Right.
And I do not like Jonathan Bullard. I not that I don't like Jonathan Bullard. I don't mean that. I mean, I don't think that he is the answer over there.
Okay.
Akeem Hicks is elite. I'd like to add another elite. I would like to take...
You can never not have enough defensive linemen and people getting pressure on the quarterback.
Exactly.
I feel like on the defensive side of it, you can never have enough corners that could play. You can never have enough guys getting pressure because that seems to be the way that you kind of stop offenses now because people like to throw the football.
Exactly.
So
I really like this kid. He, like I said, he can drop back, man. He can guard. He's quick. He can guard a tight end. That's coming off the line. So that's pretty big. He had a less than stellar sophomore year, but bounced back his junior year and his senior year. He was the second team All SEC, which is pretty awesome. He fits with us again by playing with Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks on one end and having Lorenzo Carter on the other end. I think that is just something that would be deadly. Check him out if you get the chance. He's very, very fast. I like the kid. A pro comparison to him is Bud Dupree. All right.
Okay.
I like. Dang, I dig that.
I'd like that.
So, my draft is kind of built off building this defense. My mock draft.
Fair.
I think this offense can be explosive. I'm very excited how we've said again with Helfrich being our offensive coordinator and Nagy coming on over, and then the weapons that we have added on the offensive side. I would like to take this defense from a top 10 to a top 5.
Well, it definitely takes a lot of pressure off Mitch Trubisky to be elite early if you have a top 5 defense, because at this point you're not expecting him to go score every possession, and that's not realistic anyway, especially because it's going to be a new offense and they're going to be learning to play together as well. There's so many different new pieces that are going to be on this thing. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have an elite defense early, so maybe you try to make some noise. But we have talked about this. I don't think the Bears are going to make the playoffs. I hope I'm wrong.
Me too, man. But why does everybody gets mad at us? I just don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They're young,
right? They're very young.
It's a whole new
system. And
the only thing that's not new is Vic sticking around.
But that's a lot of Chicago optimism too. I feel like a lot of guys feel like Chicago, or a lot of Chicago sports fans feel that they're a lot closer than and they may be. But expectations in this town, they get out of control sometimes. It's almost like people jump the gun on a lot of sports. A lot of sports teams. I remember when even like if you're looking at the baseball side of it, your White Sox, everyone's talking about 2020 and right, man, be patient. You don't know what you got already. I hope that I'm wrong though. I would love to have some playoff tickets to go use this year and tailgate with you.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But I mean, like we said, man, we haven't been in the playoffs in a long time. It's we'll see where it ends up.
Damn cough.
Drop the ball over at second base. The Cubs are just clamping down on the Brew Crew. But yeah, I wouldn't mind the pick. I also wouldn't mind if the Bears make the playoffs. We're not Bears haters here. We're season ticket holders trying to be optimistic, but also having realistic expectations. Because this year is going to be painful and it's going to be fun all at once. You're going to have those moments where you feel like, man, they're really starting to get the grip of what the offense is going to be, and you're going to have those games where you're kind of like, man, they don't even seem like they know what they're doing out there. But like we said, it's a new system. It's going to be a lot of new players. The offense is very new. We're on the patient side, but we hope we're wrong.
So who are you taking route 2?
I went with Braden Smith, guard from Auburn. He's an athletic guy, sound, has started 27 consecutive games for Auburn, so I know he's going to be on the field.
I'm going to have you hold this down for a minute.
Yeah, by all means.
I need to get a water.
He's a SEC All-Pro, second team, faced great defenses over there at Auburn. They've compared him to Kyle Long. On tape, he doesn't wow you, but he's consistent and reliable. I feel like if you don't take a lineman in the eighth pick, you need to address it in the second round. Looking at the guard position as well, it's pretty deep. After Nelson, there's not any talent that's going to wow you per se, but I do think that in the second pick, if they don't address it in the first like I had, because I want Tremaine Edmunds because of what I said earlier on in the pick, but I think that you need to address the guard position sometime in this draft, and the second round may be the spot to do it because there's a decent amount of guys that are first round potential, and with the Bears picking so close with the around the 30th pick or like the 38th pick or 39th pick or so, they're going to be able to get a guy that's maybe not the first, second, or third guard taken, but a guy who is going to be serviceable. And I know the 27 games in a row is something that really jumped out for me because it shows that he's here. Other players I liked Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise State and Rashaan Evans. I believe he's out of Alabama. I liked those two players because they're able to get pressure. Also, they're sound. I think that if you're going to pick, hey man,
had to get water.
I had to pee in the last one.
Dude,
so we're even now.
Man, I got that.
No,
frog
I was just
in my
telling.
throat.
I was just telling everybody that Braden Smith getting those comparisons to Kyle Long. Mm-hmm. I think he's a big guy. He's consistent. He's going to be on the field.
You took Braden Smith. That's a guard from Auburn.
From
right?
Auburn.
I was having a coughing attack.
So he's going to be on the field for me. I think that if you can hit with this second pick, and you're able to take up Wilson Pose in there.
You just see that?
That's a 3-run bomb. Oh, at the wall.
Oh, wow.
Man, I thought he got it.
So did I.
No, I think that Ryan Pace could be, to me, Edmunds fits the Ryan Pace kind of per se draft that we've seen. It's young, high, high potential type guys. And I think if Ryan Pace could sneak an Edmunds in there and then sneak a Braden Smith in the second round, it's almost like having 2 first-round picks.
Okay, that's great.
And that's kind of like I know that some people say you shouldn't draft a guard so early, and looking at this draft, the guard position is pretty deep. I think they can get a playmaking guy in the second round. So
I see what you're saying, man. I just that is why I went with Nelson, is because how touted he's been and how I've watched Notre Dame.
He's run away the best guard
in the draft, and I want the best to protect potentially the best.
Absolutely, no, and that's why when you made that pick, I did say that I wouldn't hate it.
No, I'm really glad that you kind of went the opposite end though. Like that's what makes this cool. It's like we did not sit down together and make this mock draft.
No,
this was complete. We have really not been able to really see each other for
not a
few days. Right. I got to hang out, kick back a couple in a while. So that's cool, man. All right.
So the Bears do not have a third pick or third round pick.
No. We got 2 in the 4th.
So going into it, I'll let you. You have your first 4th round pick.
All right. So that's pick 105. So with pick 105, I decided to take Nick Nelson out of the Big Ten, Wisconsin.
Okay.
He's a star quarterback on a top 10 team with 21 passes defended last year. So I really, really like that. I really thought that he had the potential to be a mid-round, a mid-round pick in the 4th round, and I think that's what he is. And I think that's what we're going to do. I think that we're going to take him.
I wouldn't hate it.
22 years. He was actually originally committed to Hawaii.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you not want to go to Hawaii?
Oh, maybe Wisconsin's just, I don't know.
That's an odd move.
They got really good cheese there.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
I don't go there.
All their other football teams. I mean,
Yeah,
you know what? Hang on. University of Wisconsin. Screw you too. I'm sorry. See,
So that's your fourth round pick.
Yeah,
your first one.
Yeah, that's for my first one. Nelson, very instinctive. He's a ball hawk. Always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Very good route running back.
Okay.
So I really, I like that about him. And as much as Wisconsin, Big Ten.
Right. Yeah.
Which is pretty
cool. We watched
cool.
a lot of Big Ten too, so
Right.
I remember seeing him.
Cool thing is that I didn't even look at this. I'm on this website right now called draftsite.com, and they actually took with the 115th pick the same person that I took. So obviously we need to find another outside linebacker.
Right.
Javon Rolland Jones out of Arkansas.
Mm.
Yeah, this dude is a two-time Sun Belt Player of the Year.
Okay.
Super fast, super freaky athletic.
And for your listeners here, we did not read off our mocks to each other. These are the first times I've heard who he picked, other than I think Nelson, because I asked him before we started.
Oh,
but no, from here on out, we don't know what I don't know what he's going to pick from here on out. So every time I go, oh yeah, like it's me learning like you. So
yeah, I have him. He's a freak of nature.
Okay.
He's very good, and kind of how you were talking about. I mean, is he on the level that I think Tremaine Edmonds is? No.
No. Well, I mean,
but if we did not
first round talent,
right? If we didn't go that route and we didn't get Edmonds, and we waited, this would be a kid I'd take a look at. He could either play end or outside linebacker. He's got the speed. God damn! Excuse me,
man, you're struggling.
I don't know what's going on with me, but he's got the speed to do it. A very explosive hitter. I think it'd just be the right thing with Leonard Floyd. Have him on the other end and having Trevathan and Kayakowski hold it down in the middle.
Okay. And you read both your picks, your fourth round picks.
I'm so sorry.
No,
dude.
it's okay.
My bad.
No, I can go back to that.
I didn't even think about. Because there's 2 fourths. That's why I did it to myself. All right.
No, that's no problem.
All right. So pick 105, bud. Who you got?
I got Christian Kirk, and we might have to trade up for this one because he may go in the third round. And this is only if he's there in the third round. Trade up to get him. He's a wide receiver out of A&M. A lot of you. This is a name that's come up a lot because he was up there on the wide receiver run here, but I think he's a difference maker at the wide receiver position, along with the return game. So he had spotty quarterback play for the last 2 years, saw a lot of double coverage, but yet still produced. I like him. I think he's a nice slot guy. Obviously, the wide receiver position could use some depth. As much as they've addressed it already, I still think that they still need a couple. And I actually picked 2 wide receivers in this draft.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Because I do think that Matt Nagy's going to be any weapons that I can get him, and any different kind of player I can get him. I think that the Mitch Trubisky and Nagy kind of benefit from that. And like I said, Christian Kirk may not be there in the fourth round. He was slated to be a second to fourth talent, and fourth is probably pushing it. He's probably a second to third, so you're probably going to have to trade up to get him. But for the sake of the draft, I mean, obviously the Bears have some flexibility with 2 fourth-round picks. I wouldn't mind if they traded up to get him and threw him in the slot because he's reliable. And he saw a lot of double coverage last year and still produced. Right. So he was still able to, and he had crappy quarterback play for the last couple of years here. But then my 4th-round pick, I went with Perry Nickerson.
That's your 115th pick?
Yes.
Okay.
Perry Nickerson from Tulane. Speedy corner. Obviously, we talked about in the wide receiver breakdown, Cravon LeBlanc and Bryce Callahan being that third corner in the slot or in the nickel coverage. I think that anytime you could add competition to that spot, I mean, Bryce Callahan obviously graded out to be pretty solid. And Cravon LeBlanc, he's been okay. But anytime that you can bring in a guy who ran a 4.32 and put him in that spot, let him run around, and because a lot of these leagues are going to really speedy slot receivers, maybe you take that away with a guy like that. a guy who's able to keep up. And he played at Tulane, so
Matt Forte, shout out, right?
yeah, it's a kind of a. I didn't even think of that, but
I just
like a speedy guy. I think that
here at Tulane,
the corner spot is going to have to be addressed just strictly because it needs more depth. So I think that they're gonna look at it in this draft.
Right. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. I like that. I like that you picked a receiver that early. I did not pick a receiver that early, but I'm not too far behind you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here we go.
Right. So with my 5th round pick, fifth round, pick 145, I decided to take Brandon Faison from Virginia Tech.
Oh, look at that.
So if they take your boy with your first pick, Edmonds, they're going to be pairing somebody with him. God damn it. It's been one of them nights. But yeah, no, I took Brandon Faison out of Virginia Tech. He's a cornerback.
Okay.
Coming off a very serious injury his sophomore year. Rebounded heavily his junior and senior year. So, there's a lot of potential there. Basically, he can come in, and I think he's going to be a very, very good special teams player at first, which is something that we're going to need on this team.
Absolutely.
Something that does need to be addressed. But he's got some size behind him as a corner. He's 6'1".
Okay.
He's 203 pounds, 4'5'3". He's strong.
Okay.
But the cool thing about him is he's as strong as he is. He a lot of pass breakups last year. He's constantly knocking away passes too.
Okay.
So which is very good. Is he the best route runner? No. Is he a ball hawk? No. But he always seems to be in the place that he needs to be in to contend to pass, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a high impact player and to be somebody that's oh my god, no. But I think that he could come in and give us quality snaps when our stars need to go out and rest.
Okay.
So I decided to take him with my 5th round pick.
Nice.
Brandon Faison out of Virginia Tech.
All right.
So who are you taking in round 5, pick 145?
5th round, I went with Quadre Henderson from Pitt.
I almost took Quadre Henderson from Pitt.
He, Tavon Austin type player, deadly in the return game.
Dude.
And I think that if we're able to get I'm not going to call him Devin Hester-esque because we don't know what he'll be, but I think this is a shortcut way to take some pressure off the offense.
You want to hear something awesome?
Go ahead.
I took him in my 6th round.
Oh, okay.
I had him still on the board in the 6th round.
There you go.
So that's
I jumped
awesome.
up to 5 and took him. So suck it.
Hey, I got it.
No, I when I saw
we need a returner.
We do. We need some help at that. The special teams play has been pretty bad.
Lackluster.
Since Devin left, they haven't really found a guy to compete at that position. And like I said, any mismatch type of player you can give Nagy in a system where he's going to look for mismatches. You can put this guy in the backfield, get him on a linebacker, create a mismatch that way. He's a home run hitter.
Wait, you mean how maybe Devin should have been used instead of a number 1 receiver?
Devin had a lot of problem learning the offense too. The guy could barely figure out
run forward.
Right. But I think any asset I can give Nagy to give Trubisky, I think, is warranted in this draft.
Absolutely.
Because obviously we want to improve the defense, but the defense was pretty solid last year. A year older for a lot of these guys, so we expect them to elevate their play as well. But yeah, no, I picked Quadre Henderson in the 5th.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I'm actually going to have you just hop in right into round 6 because I took him in round 6.
Okay. So I went...
if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. I went with Anthony Walker from Northwestern, inside linebacker. This is a depth move along with the low risk, high reward because obviously now that we're getting into these late rounds, you want to pick guys who maybe could just compete, maybe for a special team spot, add some depth. Maybe you end up finding a guy who's, overlooked on a lot of these mock drafts and these draft boards. But Northwestern, inside linebacker, this is more depth. Like I said, low risk, high reward. In 2015, he had a great season. 120 tackles, 20 and a half of them for losses. So that the guy really likes to play downhill. But then in 2016 and 2017, he struggled because he gained way too much weight. He's been compared to Bucks linebacker Levante David. So, and good player. Needs to work on shedding blocks because when he was too fat, he was too slow to the point of attack. And in 2015, he was too small, so he couldn't shed blocks from linemen. So if you get this kid at the right weight, maybe he could be a guy who can plug and place, and maybe that's your Eddie Jackson type find of this draft.
Right on.
That was my pick for the 6th round.
All right.
So we're on to the last round here. So with these last round picks, obviously this is just kind of like a guy that we both kind of like. This is obviously a high risk or a low risk, high reward type player. I'm sure yours is too. It's more like unless you really found a guy in the 7th round that you think is really overlooked.
It's a homer pick.
Okay.
It's a safe pick, and I think it's a smart pick. With the 7th round, with our 7th pick, with the 7th round with our 224th pick, last round of the NFL draft, I decided to take Northwestern's very own Justin Jackson.
Oh, okay.
I do feel that if something goes on with, hypothetically, say, Tariq goes down or Jordan Howard, who's our big-time back.
You never have enough running backs, and they lost Benny Cunningham,
right,
too.
And that's exactly why I decided to take him.
Screen game, too, last year.
That's exactly why I decided to take Justin Jackson, is because we lost Benny Cunningham, and this kid...
he's gone, right? I don't think he's still available, Benny Cunningham. I think he did end up signing somewhere.
I got the whole roster up right here in front of my face.
Just want to make sure we cover all our bases.
He went to Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
I believe. I'm running it right now. I don't know.
We'll see.
Whatever. Who cares? But
yeah, I'm with you.
That's why so early. But anyway, yeah, Justin Jackson. I took him from Northwestern. He's a strong kid. 4.52 40-yard dash. There. Got a 38.5-foot vertical.
Okay.
Very elusive running back. 10 touchdowns on 245 carries. He can catch out of the backfield. During one of the most successful high school running backs in history, 6,531 yards for 85 touchdowns.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he did well. He did well at Northwestern. So
we both picked Northwestern players in this draft.
I do think it's pretty cool that we did pick the same. You know how many people get drafted in the NFL draft?
Oh, absolutely.
And the fact that we did a mock, we haven't talked about it.
We haven't talked to any about it.
And we still picked the same dude.
The same guy for the...
Yeah. We ended up pitting Henderson from Pitt. So,
because
we both realized that we realized
the need. We need a returner.
But that was my 7th pick. I mean, do I think he's going to be a game changer? No. Would I be love to prove wrong because he's goes to Northwestern? Yeah, it'd be cool.
Absolutely.
But I think that it's a safe pick. I think it's a good pick, and he's not going to get a crazy amount of playing time, but if something does happen, he can come in and do his job.
I think that I like the pick, but I think that I picked Quadre Henderson strictly to do things like that, knowing that Benny Cunningham was gone.
Okay.
So that was kind of like my idea behind that. My 7th round, I picked a project player from Southern Florida, Mike Love, defensive end.
Right.
High motor, has the body type to play in the NFL. And in the 7th round, that's kind of what you're looking for. You're not looking. Obviously, these guys didn't make huge impacts where they were in college. Some of them.
It's like the guys that showed flashes, but not the consistency to get up in higher rounds.
Right, but he's listed as being flexible in the scheme due to his body type because he's able to cover a little bit, which is nice. Nice to have. So you know that if somebody does go down at the outside linebacker position, maybe he could fill in on that. It's a project pick. This is one of those. You pick him, you hope he ends up making the squad. If he doesn't, then hey, it's a 7th rounder.
We'll lose sleep over it.
Yeah, you could use these picks in the 7th round to draft a project, and that's what Mike Love is. And I'd love to see him in a Bears uniform. I think that with the high motor and the right system, he could be a good player.
I think the consistency of both of our drafts showed that we're I was more defensive orientated. I really like to see that defense. I think we added a lot of weapons already on offense. I would really like to see our defense take that extra jump. But I think that our drafts are pretty much aligned.
Bears, at the end of the day, they need a corner. Maybe they need some corner depth. They need some help on the line. They need a pass rusher. And
they need an outside linebacker.
We wouldn't mind seeing an outside linebacker. You know, I mean, the Bears aren't drafting a tight end. The Bears probably aren't going to. If they do, they'll draft a running back in like the later rounds, like you did.
Right. It's not a need to do in the early rounds.
Right, and the Bears aren't drafting a quarterback, which I think bodes well for what they for the spot they have, because if five picks in the first 8 are quarterbacks, which some mock drafts are showing, that plays right into the Bears' hands. You know, it's a nice player may fall to the Bears at 8. But, I mean, obviously, when you pick these mock drafts, it's tough because
things change week in and week out.
And there's so much. These picks are not set in stone. I'm sure the Bears are going to trade one of these picks we just made. I'm sure the Bears are going to obviously pick people that nobody's right in the mock draft. Nobody. All these Mel Kipers, the Todd McShays, they're all wrong at the end of it. Go back and look at them. None of them are close. Because why? I mean, who expected the Bears to trade up to 2 last year to take Mitch Trubisky? There was a lot of talk that the Bears were going defensively last year.
Yep.
But they did. They picked a quarterback, and look where their franchise sits. You know, now they're trying to pad as much offense as they can now. You know, that's the defense was solid last year. A lot of people thought it wasn't going to be as elite as it was in the top 10. You know, but they made the strides, and now it's time to get players that fit. You know, you got to get guys who are going to be on the field and they're going to make immediate impact, because that's how you're going to make a playoff.
Absolutely. I did enjoy doing that. You guys let us know in the comments section down below here on YouTube, or if you are active with us on Twitter, what you guys thought of that.
This was a long podcast.
Yeah, this was the longest one we've done so far. We're closing in on an hour and 40 here. But
9:08 already, too.
This is what they had. Yeah, we started this. Yeah, man. I mean, we started it. You know,
see, we love you guys.
Yeah, this was fun, though.
This was fun. I want everybody to comment below and
please
give their own.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, actually, that'd be cool. If, like, guys, why don't you throw a 7-round mock draft in the comments section? Like, maybe players that we missed, or, I mean, you know, someone that you might think that we overlooked. And also, if you guys could let us know what you want us to do for position breakdown next week.
Right.
So let us know, because we out of the way now is corners and safeties and wide receivers and running backs are now on the way. So let us know what you guys want us to do.
And I would try to hold off
week.
on the quarterback one. Really, there's not too much to. We've talked a lot of Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, is it really even worth it to focus time on that?
Then we're gonna do one.
I mean, we can, but I mean, I feel like we got 2 videos on Mitch already on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe towards the end.
I love Mitch. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk about him all day.
Maybe towards the end.
Sundays are for?
Yeah. Tiger.
Oh yeah.
Sunday Red.
But let us know down in the comment section below position breakdowns for next week and what you thought of our mock drafts, and add your own so we can talk about it.
First, I want to say thank you to all the viewers.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for being so active. Sorry I was not active as much as I usually am on YouTube and Twitter this week.
You had a kid, man.
I feel bad. Yeah,
give him a break.
I know, man. I know. I just wanted to say, you know, I will be more active as time goes along here. But thank you for listening. Thank you for the ideas. If you found us on YouTube, like, sub, and subscribe. If you want to find us on Twitter.
Excuse you.
Damn it.
I got the black lung, Pop.
If you want to find us on Twitter, at MVP Buzzweed, at MVP Juiceman.
Sound like Dan McNeil.
Dude. I know. God. It's bad. Again, at Twitter, at MVP Buzzweed, at MVP Juiceman. If you're listening on iTunes, please drop us a 5-star rating and a comment down below to let other people know to listen to us, that we're not totally dumb. Other than that, you know, let us know what you guys want us to talk about next week. Hopefully my voice isn't as scratchy, but
you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm hoping. This is just miserable, bro.
Yeah, and comment below. I know we mentioned it earlier in the video. If you like the new setup here, the way the camera's positioned, as well as our new equipment, if we can adjust anything, if people felt like we weren't projected in the right way. Our guy Ricky's going to edit our video, but yeah, let us know.
Yeah, everything's new down here, recording-wise and camera-wise. So.
Yeah, and who knows, you may come back next week and see we put the camera in a different spot. Who knows? we might just throw you for a loop there.
Exactly. But again, this is the Outcast with Buzz and Juice. We will be back next week. Juice, I'm going to have you take us out. I can't talk anymore.
Thanks for viewing, guys.
Peace.